Welcome to the channel if you're new, and if you're returning, 2 thumbs up. I really appreciate that. First off, I apologize, but I am not incredibly knowledgeable with the Insidious franchise. I believe I seen the first two, and that's it. And I haven't seen them in a very long time, and I only seen them once each time. I do remember I really enjoyed the first two, but I'm not going to be able to make any comparisons to past films or references to past films. And I went into this sixth film basically as a new watcher to the franchise. If you have not seen it yet and you're planning on it, no concerns. This is going to be a spoiler free review. I'm just going to discuss the emotions of the film, how the characters performed in the film, maybe some key points of the film, maybe a scene or two of the film, and overall my interpretation of the film.
Moves like it got a pulse. I tell the truth, I don't do the gloss. Hit me with a friend that breathes. Hit me with a line that bleeds. If it falls apart, I say it plain. If it hits my chest, I say that name. Cinema X, I call it how I see it. Cinema X, no faking for the view.
Insidious Out of the Further is actually appropriately named because it shows that there's still some spookiness left in this franchise and they potentially could continue going. I really like that they diss the old school family drama nonsense and introduce a new character, Gemma, a dentist hygienic who is basically a Uber driver for ghosts. I believe this has been seen in some other horror movies. I don't know if there's a actual term for it, but it's when a person themselves are possessed, not a object or a location, but the person is haunted. So wherever they go, they're gonna experience paranormal activities, and that's what's going on here with Genda. Guys, I had a lot of fun during this film. It's easily one of the better horror films of the year. The movie featured a surreal chase scene through a couch. I actually was a little nervous at this point. It was early on in the film, and I was thinking it was gonna be just loaded with jump scare after jump scare, where it's events that don't even take place. You know, you would see a spirit jump out, and then it would come back to reality, and what you just saw isn't even a part of the film, and it doesn't even matter. That's what I thought was going on, so I was getting kind of annoyed. Completely wrong. Everything that was happening was legitimately happening to her. It's kind of like a Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger type scenario where the ghost could target her in her dreams, and she was having a dream where she fell into the couch and was getting chased by these demonic spirits. And the three spirits that are haunting her and her family ultimately throughout this film are actually neighbors that live close to her, and she sees them walk around, but in the real world they are normal, and in this dream world they become possessed. As a dental hygienist, Gemma encounters ghosts with terrifying rotten teeth. It is basically the ultimate propaganda film to brush your grills. And they do show this in the preview, as you just seen, which I think was a mistake on their part because I think this was a very innovative and important part of the film. It does last long, and there's some other unhinged and creepy factors that take place, but it was just so shocking and innovated, and it focused on a phobia and fear of going to the dentist that doesn't really get covered a lot, that I feel like they should have left that to people's surprise and not put in so much of that scene in the preview. Gonna backtrack a little bit. The intro for this scene was 5 stars. It was incredibly scary. It really set the mood. I'm not saying the whole film, flopped after that, fall from it, but it honestly was one of the most terrifying parts of the film. Featured Jemmy as a child, and her mother was getting targeted by a spirit and later possessed. And then it showed, and give you a second, this is going to be a quick spoiler. So if you want to tune out now, go ahead. Okay, back to it. It showed her mother commit S in front of her by slamming her head into a wall. It was very graphic, very disturbing, very cringe, and yet I could not turn away. Then it takes place years later, where Jeremy is now an adult with her own daughter, Maya, who also played an amazing role in her first feature film, moving back to the house where her mother passed away. We also see return of the Queen, Lin Shay, who comes back as Psychic Elise. And, even though her character died off a few films ago, she managed to make a epic comeback. Talk about an aggressive retirement plan. But on a much more serious note, Gemma's ability to enter the spirit world is simply granted to her because of her overwhelming grief, suggesting that prolonged sadness is what really leaves us vulnerable to dark forces. And just transitioning back for a moment here. The use of the clinician denter's office strips away the comfort of home, creating a stellar. The environment strips away the comfort of home, creating a stellar, inescapable environment that amplifies our physical and mental vulnerabilities. The appearance and presence of Ellis is bittersweet because it digs deep into the dread and trauma that the supernatural realm actually presents. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 3. It's one of those films that I feel like it's gonna be a love hate depending on the individual. It's going to be anywhere from a 2.5 to a 3.5. I'm just gonna go ahead and nail it at a 3 for me. So that's another X mark the spot. As always, like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite Insidious film is. How do you think this most recent film scores to the previous film? Educate me on it because, like I said, I'm no expert with the older Insidious films. So go ahead and in the comment sections, let me know what you think.
Walked into a lamp, I had to pause and wait. Did that just happen? Did the camera stay? Was that part of it? Bloopers, bloopers, I could not ignore. Bloopers, bloopers, I was.
Okay, on a much more serious note, Gemma ability to enter the spirit world is simply granted because of her overwhelming Greek, David?